What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to Collective Clips. And as you can see, a little different change of scenery, a little different atmosphere, but still, man, again, hit that like and subscribe button, man. Let's get them notification bells on all so that way you're abreast of all the dope content I'm bringing. And let's talk about some current situations, things that are going on. Who do you believe? Who do you trust? Man, this is a hard one. I don't like to play both sides, and I definitely don't like to pick and choose. In this situation that's going on in Gaza and in Israel, man, these bombings back and forth and, this war that's happening, because that's what it is. Let's just be cut and dry. Let's be plain and simple. Let's be real. It's war. It's escalated to, a war of the worlds. Can it translate into World War III? One never knows. Quite possibly. But definitely, man, I stay aware, and I've been watching the news, and I see that several hours ago there was a bombing that happened in the Gaza city, right off the Gaza Strip, man. It was at a hospital. Several children, several refugees that have left from these bombings to try to get away, got bombed. And there's over 1,000 casualties now. Several people wounded, injured. It's getting real, man. It's definitely. It's been real, but it's definitely affecting people in real life, and this situation, everybody's pointing the fingers at each other, and it's time to be aware. It's time to talk about it and have a conversation because, we as a people, as a society, think, nothing's going to affect us or nothing can touch us, especially Americans, us people over here, abroad, Americans. We think we're untouched by, outside influence or by things that happen in other countries. But, it affects us. It affects our economy. It affects our pockets. It definitely affects our livelihoods and our families. I, for one, man, don't like seeing little children bombed, women, people that are old, people that can't take care of themselves. For so many years, I took from my society, from my own people, for so many years, let me get this right. For so many years, I chose to be that thorn in the side of society. I was a gang member. I was out there, pushing a narrative and fighting my own people, tearing my own neighborhoods apart, getting behind those walls, incarcerated and pushing an agenda because I felt I had a right to express myself and the way I wanted to do things. I do. And every God-given American has that right. Every person has that right to affiliate or associate themselves with whoever they want and do their thing. But at the end of the day, man, when it starts to affect other people and you see it affecting yours around you, you have to take a step back and use your brain and think. As a grown man now, a hated man, I realized that society judged me and I judged society. I realized that a lot of the things that I thought were cool and that were going to make me look good in the eyes of the people, they were the wrong people to look cool to. A lot of these people that we thought we were the cool guys at school were the guys riding beach cruisers around, drinking alcohol, while the guys who were the nerds or the guys that weren't the cool guys are now the ones with all the good women and the cars and the jobs and things of that nature, What's going on is real. It's time to buckle up and get ready. This war, it doesn't matter who started it. You're going to talk to Palestinian people. They're going to say Israel started it. It's been something they've been persecuted for years. And I agree in some aspects, man. I'm sure they have. I'm sure they've lost a lot of life. There's been a lot of bloodshed on both sides. And you talk to Israeli people, Jewish people, and they feel the same way. They feel that it's their God-given right, their God-given land, and that people persecute them from every angle, every side. I'm not going to choose sides, man. I don't know who's at fault here, but I know the men that pulled triggers and the men that chose to bomb a helpless hospital, are very dangerous men, and they're not the type of characters that I'd like to be around. But who's lying? Who's telling the truth here? There's been decades and centuries of war between these two groups. Hamas, although some people like to call them a terrorist group, some people like to call them a faction of the government, of the Palestinian people. They are definitely a movement. They are a movement, and they're doing what they feel that is necessary to secure their lands. Now, I'm sure Israel has bombed back or even, started some of this conflict. And nobody is innocent, man. No one does not have blood on their hands. Let those who are innocent cast the first stone. I don't think anyone can say they're innocent. Anytime you throw a bomb or you shoot a rocket or a missile into a populated area, man, there's going to be casualties of war. There's going to be innocent people, civilians that are struck. What just happened at this hospital, man, it's vicious. It's barbaric, right? It's barbaric in nature because, one thing I learned as a gang member was we try to minimize the effect that we had on innocent civilians. Innocent civilians were kind of like off limits. We couldn't touch them, or we shouldn't touch them. Of course, there was casualties of war. You hit a spot, you see the enemy, you get off where you're mad at, you take flight, man. Innocents are going to get hit. That is why, in California, the no drive-by policy was implemented by the organizations that, implemented them. And that was a righteous move. That was probably one of the better moves done because they were right, man. Innocent children and people were being victimized and shot, and it was a cowardice act, to shoot from a moving vehicle and to just shoot up in the air. And a lot of people are not trained. They're not skilled in arms. You see all these people with guns and they're flashing them in music videos and on the streets. And a lot of them couldn't hit a motherfucking flea off a turkey's back, right? Gobble, gobble. They couldn't do none of that. They just shoot at the direction of whoever they're shooting at and hope that they hit them. Now, of course, with this automatic weapons and all these different types of guns that they have nowadays, it's not hard to hit someone from a mile away. But they're not shooting guns over there in the Middle East. They're shooting rockets and weaponry. And, it only gets bigger and better or bigger and worse. When does nuclear bombs come into play? When does groups like Iran and Syria and China and Russia and even the United States become involved? We've sent warships over there, the United States of America. China has already voiced their opinion on that matter, so has Russia. All these different groups. If you don't stay abreast, gente, I know a lot of people don't like to get political, and I don't like to be really political on my channel, but you got to politic through the politics, right? And I do videos like this because I want people to stay aware and to see, man, it's not all about gangs and prison and comedy. It's more so about our future, our children, and what's going on around us. I'd be a hypocrite if I sat here and said that it doesn't affect me, or I sit here and I laugh about things and I think that, everything's going good in the neighborhood because I'm going to go to Panda Express and get me a big old plate. Nah. That's furthest from the truth. I care about these people. I care about, what's going on. I'm seeing children crying on the news. I'm seeing women look discombobulated and they don't know where to go. These people no longer have homes. They're, displaced from their homes, man. This is a horrible thing. Now, the blame game is being played. You have Israel blaming Hamas and Hamas blaming Israel. According to what the reporters are saying, Israel is saying that they are not responsible for this attack in Gaza City on this hospital, that it was actually bombing from the jihad or a jihad bombing from a terrorist group, and that they accidentally, shot these rockets into this hospital or over this hospital and it affected the hospital. Now, of course, Hamas is claiming that it's Israel responsible in retaliation for their bombing. We're never going to get a clear answer. We're never going to find out because we're not meant to find out. See, as citizens of the United States or as regular people, man, we're not privy to a lot of information. We have to go by what mainstream media tells us, and mainstream media is not going to tell us everything all the time. I'm not here to sugarcoat or add preservatives to anything, man. I'm hood news pretty much. I'm going to give you guys the real, my street knowledge, the knowledge that you don't get in college. I'm going to tell you guys from my perspective what I think is going on. And from my perspective is it's a big old lie, man. There's a lot going on and there's more to meets the eye. With war comes money. Money is power. And there's a lot of unnecessary evils getting involved. The United States sticking their nose in. And I understand that we're big brother and we have to, help society and help the world. But at the same time, helping starts in the home, in the household, right? We need to help ours first. But that's a debate, man, and an argument we could have forever. It's been going on for years. And it seems like nothing ever materializes, man. We keep getting broker and everyone keeps getting richer, huh? Now, as far as this bombing in Gaza at the hospital, whoever's responsible, man, the evil men that are responsible for it, they have to look in the mirror. They have to go to sleep tonight. They have to wonder, when it's going to catch up to them, because karma does catch up to them. There's a greater power, man, and something in working in play right here. I believe that this is the first chip, the first domino to World War III. This is my opinion. I'm not stating that it's a fact. I'm saying, as a person who has a higher power and believes in faith, that I believe that this is the first stone that's going to be turned in something bigger. And I think that other bigger powers that may be bigger governments are going to utilize this as a stepping stone into causing more chaos, man. It's definitely about to stay aware of and look out for. But as far as whoever bombed, the Gaza hospital, according to reports right now, nobody's going to raise their hand and take the blame. That's just like if a shooting happens down the street, ain't no one going to say they did it. But eventually, man, the cream rises to the top and the truth shall, come out. And to be totally honest with you, I have an opinion, but it's just an opinion and not fact. I believe it was, Israel in retaliation. I don't want the Israeli people to be mad at me and think that I'm picking sides or choosing sides. I'm just being real in what my opinion is. I think it wasn't meant to happen that way. I don't think that they meant to, hit this hospital with innocent civilians, women and children, but it just did. In wartime, man, sometimes your targets are off. Sometimes you're thinking that there's people there. And a lot of these people will hide amongst innocents. That's how it goes. When you're on the run, you're going to go to innocent family members' homes, not even telling them you're on the run. What kind of dirtbaggish shit is that? I've done it. Been on the run, people looking for me, cops looking for me, and went to family members' homes and didn't tell them, the situation, put them in danger, put their families in danger. Because when you're thinking selfishly and only about yourself and trying to self-preserve, you're not thinking about those around you. So maybe they felt that there were some of their targets there, or some people in high places that were hiding amongst the civilians. Either way, man, it was a cowardice act, whoever did this. And it's something that we'll see as it materializes and as it comes out, who did it. But with that being said, I just wanted to voice my opinion. Whether you watch it or you don't, that's just my opinion. Stay abreast, stay aware of what's going on, because it gets worse and worse and not better, man. Peace talks, you'll hear things about, there's going to be peace and eventually they're going to get tired, or Israel's, basically doing a whole lot and they're going to end this quick and swiftly. And I believe if it was going to end quick, it would already ended. I think there's a lot more here than meets the eye. And I totally honestly believe, man, that as an American, we need to stay abreasted and aware, because it's going to start affecting us eventually, man. With that being said, move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming to you. And remember, at the end of the day, it's all about the struggle to strive and the strive to struggle, man. I'm going to stay keeping the people abreasted right here on this channel of what's going on, because I think it's something that we need to pay attention to. My prayers, my thoughts are with the women and children, and of course, everyone else affected in this war. It keeps getting uglier before it's going to get prettier, man. And that's just the way it is. The gun. Bang, bang.